I've seen law firms build multiple million, $5 million firms on a single lead source. It's just risky. So I think 2 is the right number. 3 is ideal for those firms that are larger. But let's talk about what I mean. Every law firm needs at least one good quality lead source they can depend on that generates them leads over and over again. Find that one and do more of it and get better at it until you can prove it out. I'd like you to have 2 so that you're not susceptible to the worst time in business. And then as you grow, we're going to add a 3rd. So your firm should think, what is your primary goal? Let's look at the law firm lead source quadrant. The first is pay per lead. These are firms that generate leads for your practice area, and you pay them a per lead price. Pay per leads are the fastest to market leads. They're going to get you leads immediately when you sign up with them. If you have a good sales conversion system, meaning you can get the appointment set through live human or AI or both, and hopefully a non-attorney salesperson can close that deal and collect money depending on your practice area, you can make pay-per-leads work pretty quickly. Now, the problem is they have a high speed quotient, lead to market is pretty quick, and they have a very low brand composure. Nobody knows who you are until after they hire your firm. The second is traditional advertising. What is traditional advertising? Back in the day, the yellow pages, newspaper, direct mail, billboard, TV, radio. If you've got a traditional advertising source that works and it's scalable, that's a good quality lead source. The third is referral development program. And the referral development program has 2 arms. You have client base, so you're getting referrals from clients, and you're also getting referrals from allied service professionals. Service professionals that sell to the clients you want to sell to, lawyers, dentists, real estate agents, accountants, and they will refer business over to you because they don't do what you do and they need somebody who does do what you do. While I count this as a lead source, I don't count it as one of your 3 lead sources I spoke about earlier. This brings us to our next category, which is digital. So digital has SEO, pay per click, Google, social, pay per dial, GMB, local service ads. Around this idea, you have what's called your brand. I want you to have either a lead source here, here, here. This should happen as natural because of the nature of the business. You're good at what you do, you get referrals. I don't want to use that as a lead source because I can't typically control the volume of that. I want you to choose your lead source and then think about building your brand. In a small law firm setting, unless you have a massive budget, it's not going to move the needle the way you want. You should be able to build brand inside of digital. Because when you build a brand around it, you'll start to see everything increase. The other way to make conversion go up is to have a non-attorney salesperson closing deals for you. So you can visit us at thestaffingroom.com and learn more about how we specialize in generating non-attorney salespeople for your firm. If you're a law firm owner, should you be using a podcast as a marketing tool for your company? With so many of them, do they gain any traction? So let's talk about this. Right now, it's the fastest way for you to build this brand through primarily social. And the center of brand is your podcast. You should use a podcast if you have at least one lead source in one of those quadrants, because when you build a brand around it, more leads will come in, more sets, more shows, more hires. So building a podcast, the answer is absolutely yes, when you have at least one brand that you want to lift. In the end, if you've got a lead source, at least one, and it's performing, and you want it to perform better, you should start building a brand with the podcast at the center of that universe so that you could lift the boats and the performance of your paid lead sources. I'll show you how to break down the podcast step by step. What is a podcast exactly? A podcast used to be an audio conversation with somebody else, usually a 2-way podcast. Today, a podcast means so much more. It should be audio, but it has to be video as well. The first thing I want to talk about is long form. There are long form videos that are 15 minutes, and there are long form videos that are 3 hours. The long form should be as long as it needs to be in order to get the point across. Short form, or shorts, is usually a minute-ish, as short as it needs to be to get the point across. The long form should build a longer relationship and position you as a subject matter expert or an excellent interviewer. Shorts is designed to drive more traffic to your long form. And both of these have some sort of CTA, call to action, that drive them to some sort of landing page or where we start having a conversation with people because they opt in. You could put on your long form, you could say, go visit my website at bankruptcylawoffphoenix.com and grab your free report and maybe some free guide there. Point is, you can give something away for free that starts to capture the lead. The goal is to build a universe around whatever lead sources you have right now. Because even pay-per-lead that doesn't have a brand, when you call them back and let them know who you are during the script, people will have seen your brand through your long form and your shorts. If you're using traditional advertising, your brand will raise awareness and help you get the nod when somebody else is competing against you. Your referral development, your brand will let your clients be reminded to tell other people about you, will remind your referral partners that know you to send you business. It'll start increasing your referral development program. There are other ways to increase your referral development program, but one of the best ways is to build an excellent brand. Everything starts to work a little bit better because what happens is your brand goes out there and starts finding you in different ways. And all of these things are designed to be connectors and take advantage of that brand. Law firm owners have to have a lead source, 2 or 3, that are driving leads, and preferably ones you can control, where you could spend more to drive more, you could spend less to drive less, depending on what's going on. If you stop driving leads at any one particular time, your lead sources dry up. The good news is it takes a long time to build, but once you build it, it has a really long tail. So long form, AKA podcast, has 2 basic fundamental forms. One is the interview style. So in interview style, think of Diary of a CEO. It's a great interview platform where there's a man who interviews other CEOs on topics and he builds himself a brand. That's an interview-based podcast. But there's other ones for consumers, B2C as compared to B2B. If you go to their YouTube channels, you'll see that their teams have taken the long form and then they've broken them into shorts. And then those shorts get posted on several different social media locations. Whether you hyper-focus on one like YouTube or you post it on Instagram and TikTok, there's restrictions, and the more channels you go for, the harder your life becomes. And so I recommend in the beginning sticking with one, and my recommendation would be YouTube. The second way that you can create long form is a long form information podcast. It sets us up as an expert in very specific knowledge areas, a subject matter expert in a particular field. In this case, consultants to law firms on how to run your business. So if you watch our podcast, you probably have a reasonable amount of confidence that I have some knowledge of how to actually generate business for a law firm and run a law firm and manage the workflow. So which one should you do? Should you do an interview or should you do an information? The information one requires less finding somebody else to interview. All you have to do is create good quality content, have AI write you out an outline, and then present well to camera. Information-based podcast takes some time to get good at presenting the information. You got to figure out a style that works for you. The other is the interview option. You just have to be good at asking questions, and attorneys are usually pretty good at that, and they're naturally inquisitive. The hard part is finding those who you want to interview. The good news, the bigger you get, the more people you're going to have wanting to be interviewed by you. You get to then borrow their influence because they usually post it on their social media and they share it with everybody, and now you get more traffic back to your site. There's some real value in the interview-based process, but don't underestimate the hard work involved to become a good interviewer. You need to do some research, ask some good quality questions, and you should study some of the great interviewers like the Diary of a CEO or My First Million or anybody like that. Even when you do an information-based podcast, the same thing happens. Your team creates shorts and posts them to social media. Now, AI can do most of this work. AI can take your long form and break it into short form. There's software programs out there like Riverside. If you record your interviews or your information-based podcast on Riverside, it'll actually break it up for you and it'll give you what they call magic clips. And then you could just have your AI agent go out and post those out to social media for you, tag them, and do all the things they're supposed to do to make sure that you get traffic. Once you figure out what works here, you start adding some dollars towards it. So the ones that are working well, you just add paid traffic and then you boost your audience because you're adding paid traffic to content that people already like. And you'll get more eyeballs on it, you'll get more people to share. And of course, you measure people that view, download, share, comment. You measure these things in your engagement, and you can see that it's getting better and better with time. And over a while, after the consistency takes over, what happens is you've built yourself this digital brand that surrounds your entire advertising and lead generation universe. Now, your one lead source starts working better. And if you have two lead sources, they both start working better. Plus, you're generating some leads from places you can't quite identify because they're coming from your long form somewhere. You've created this online brand that puts you as a celebrity status. Celebrity status gets to charge more for their services, has higher percentage conversions and leads that come in versus clicks, the number of leads that set appointments that show and higher. And then you have additional referral rates because people tell other people they worked with a celebrity. And so celebrity status makes all the difference in the world. And the way you gain celebrity status from a small law firm these days is by building this brand. And the way you build a brand is by using your podcast to create long form videos, break it down into shorts, have it posted to social media, boost the best paying ones. And then you'll start seeing you can charge more, you get better conversions, and your referral rates go up because all of your lead sources start performing better. Hope that feels like a comprehensive lesson. We talked about generating more leads by creating this brand over time. And we talked about when you have a brand, all things go up. One of them is conversion. The other way to make conversion go up is to have a non-attorney salesperson closing deals for you. So you can visit us at thestaffingroom.com and learn more about how we specialize in generating non-attorney salespeople for your firm. Using a brand to generate more leads through the lead sources that you have is a great strategy. But if you're not converting those leads into paying clients, you're leaving money on the table, and fundamentally you're not as profitable as you should be. If you want to have a more profitable law firm, you need to be using a non-attorney salesperson to close the deal. If you're wondering if you could even do that in your state, in your law firm, in your practice area, schedule some time with us. We'll let you know.